name is Max, and I am one half of the Two Ton Nerds. And this is the first day of the Two Ton Nerds Presents the 31 Days of Fright horror movie project. And first up is Cabin Fever, and the theme of this week will be Cabin in the Woods. So there's a few things I want to say before I watch the movie. Is that I do prefer Cabin in the Woods over the Hostel movies. The Hostel movies they're good, but they're not great. They're categorized as torture porn, which I'm not into those kind of movies. So that's why I chose Cabin Fever over the other Hostel Part 1 and 2. So I'm about to watch the movie and take some notes. So just forgive me if in a little bit if I'm looking off screen, looking at my notes. Please enjoy. I'm going to enjoy this movie because I got my pizza and my bottle of water. So I'll see you in a few seconds. Before I officially start this video off, I'm going to take a shot of Kraken for all of those who've helped me for the last 10 years to get to the very end. I know some years I didn't make it, but each year was unique in its own way, and I appreciate every single one of you who have left a comment, shared, liked it, helped me get me to the end by providing movies, recommendations, doing the behind the scenes stuff. I appreciate you all, and I love you all. And I've made some good friends over the last 10 years by doing this, so I appreciate it by just everything that you've done. So thank you. Now let's get this ball rolling.
Let's begin.
Let's do this one more time. It's October 31st, 2021. You know what that means. It is Halloween. It's day 31 of the 31 Days of Fright horror movie project, year 10. I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short, and welcome to my YouTube channel. We made it, guys. We made it to the final day. Before I get this video started, I need you to click subscribe, hit the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, and share, because doing all that helps me get my channel and videos out to a much broader audience, and as well as go show some love to the 13th Wolfman. I'm the Ice Lord, Curly Girl at the Movies, Carly 317, Dave Maggot, Double Shot J, Random Horror, Retro Horror, Tony Has 9 Fingers, Trash Film Addict. Go show all of them some love, because we all made it to the end. This month has been very tough to get through, especially just on my part alone, because I've only had like 4 days off the entire month of October. And so it's been rough, and I'm really proud of myself to make it this far. So, oh man, so I don't even know what's going on behind the scenes with everybody else. They could have their own things going on and their own lives, and so it's like just getting to day 31 was a challenge. And so so go show some love. Go give them some subscribes and likes and comments. And share their videos. Helps them get their channels and videos out to a much broader audience. Now, probably the most important shout out of them all goes to my fiance for getting me this Trick or Treat VHS tape. I absolutely love it. It lights up, and today's movie is Trick or Treat, if you haven't already noticed by the thumbnail. But I love this. This has my name on the label on the movie, so it's like it's probably my favorite prop ever. She's also provided the Jaws Toonie Terror you see right there behind me, and she's helped pick up some of these figures as well. And she's also provided a movie this year, so she is probably my biggest contributor and what's that word I'm trying to think? my support, behind the scenes. So, and for putting up with me for this month, because I was on a very strict schedule, and I know that I wanted to get to the end, especially for my 10th year. So, thank you. I love you, my fiance. So, with all that being said, today's movie is Trick or Treat, like I've said about 100 times now. What has been said about this movie that hasn't already been said? If you've never seen this movie, go seek it out. I think it's on Hulu. Buy it. It's probably my highest recommendation movie to watch on Halloween. Besides the obvious choices, besides Halloween, Halloween 2, any other slasher movie, but this one is probably the one Halloween movie that to watch on Halloween, in my personal opinion. Like I just said, it's because it's so interwoven. It's a horror anthology. There's a bunch of stories going on. You got Sam on the cover here on the DVD, which is I'm officially retiring this year because I upgraded to the Blu-ray. It's going to go on the shelf with my VHS tape, and once I finally get my cup from Spencer, who also provided the movie this year, I'm going to build my little shrine to Trick or Treat, and I got a poster as well. So I'll put that with it as soon as I get it all built. But this movie is fantastic. I love it. There really isn't what to say about this. You got Dylan Baker, Leslie Bibb, Anna Paquin, Brian Cox. I always forget Dylan Baker's name, but I always know what movies he's been in. He plays Dylan Curtis, Kurt Connors, and Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire ones. Brian Cox, Stryker from X-Men movies, and the original Hannibal Lecter from Manhunter with William Peterson from CSI. So this movie has an all-star cast. It really does, but you don't really get taken out of the movie with that kind of cast, because it is kind of a bunch of not really unknowns, but they're big enough to know, like, oh, I know that guy, I know that actress, and so it's just like, but the movie is so good, you kind of forget you're watching a movie because you're just so entranced with watching what's going on in this movie, because the stories are so interwoven and interconnected, because you'll see characters from one story show up in one of these stories, and then a few moments later you'll start working your way into their story. Has one of the best werewolf sequences ever, especially the transformation scene. It's fantastic. It has a lot of dark humor in it, which I really, really like. And most of all, it captures the Halloween spirit better than any other movie, I think. That's why I think this is my highest recommendation ever, because it's just so good. Because you got Sam. He is literally the spirit of Halloween. He's making sure you giving out candy. You got your costumes on. You got you're keeping your jack-o'-lanterns lit. You're just following the rules of Halloween, and you'll be all right. But if you basically break them, he will get you. And just celebrating Halloween in general, because the last story, Brian Cox's story, he's really kind of just doesn't want anything to do with Halloween until he shows up and is like, oh, I'm all for Halloween now, after that battle that they'd gone through at the end of the movie. So it's just so good. And I was talking to my friend Jake at work. This is your shout out. Just because we were talking about a possible sequel, and I don't think this movie needs a sequel. It never does. I think this movie is so good, it stands on its own. If there ever was a sequel, it would never live up to what this movie has built, because it's so good. It would take a lot. You would have to get basically the entire cast back who didn't die in the movie. Or they're playing a different role, just be kind of that kind of horror anthology kind of feel to it. But it just so good, so good. So that is all I have to say about Trick or Treat. Like I mentioned, I'm retiring the DVD and moving on to the Blu-ray copy. And here comes the kind of the big news of that. What I've been kind of like dreading to say is that this is my final year. I'm not going to be doing any more 31 days consecutively. I'm going to take a little break, and for next October, I'm going to do something new. I'm going to debut something new. I don't want to give out any details right now, but I do have something planned. I'm just going to take a break. I've done this for 10 years, varying degrees of success, but I've talked about horror movies for 10 years, once a month for the last 10 years, and I'm very proud of every review, everything, all the intros like you've seen at the beginning of the video. I'm proud of everything that I've done, all the friendships I've made through this, and all the new horror movie genres I'm getting into, especially like Italian horror. I Am the Ice Lords. I'm kind of more of the I call it the edgier side of horror because it can be his review, the movies that he's chosen are definitely not for everybody, but I can kind of stomach a little bit more than the average viewer, so I can probably get through some of it. But that's all I gotta say. I'm really sad that I'm going to stop doing this, but I'm going to do something big next year. It's going to be a big one. I promise you. It's going to be something awesome. I'm going to be working on all year long, and I'm going to debut it next October. So this is my teaser for it. So that is it. I am the one and only MSJ signing out for the 31 Days of Fright horror movie project, year 10. This movie's a horror classic. It's a 5. That's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, or doubts or whatever. It's a horror classic, and all I can really say one last time is thank you.